Now the next is AI-powered sodding. If we go to any model such as 2.5 Pro, Flash, or even earlier versions of Gemini, we find the tagline that it can process up to 10,000 lines of code and more. This shows that these tools are extremely efficient in the coding space. When multiple coding requests are given, full-fledged solutions can be generated. For example, here a prompt is available. What can be done is to add its exact response, where the item apple with a price of $1 is displayed. Its name and price automatically appear in JSON format. In addition, if a larger dataset needs to be converted into JSON, this option is also available. Here, a Docker script is shown for creating a simple Linux machine. If there's a need to generate a Docker script, this demonstrates how it can be done. These are the available options. But let me explain that through Google AI Studio, there is Kodi. If you search for Kodi Google AI appears as the evolutionary code assistant. It is connected with Vertex AI. The Google Cloud option is already opened. Inside Vertex AI, it automatically shows that Kodi generates code based on natural language input. It is useful for writing functions, classes, unit tests, and more. By opening it directly in Vertex Studio, a full-fledged interface is available where different options can be explored. For instance, a company chatbot can be built, image editing can be performed, and prompts can be created instantly. When the newer option is selected, a sample prompt can be searched automatically. Moving to the coding section, multiple features are offered, such as describing Python code, creating Java classes, explaining Java code, and generating code from comments. Here, the options available in different prompt libraries can be accessed and used automatically. The model currently running is Gemini 2.5 Flashlight. If there's a need to use something other than Flashlight, such as the 2.5 Pro model, that can also be selected. Variations are provided for the output. For example, a structured output can be chosen, which includes grounding. In addition, Google Search is available in the tools. Google Search or Google Maps can be applied as needed. For instance, if a prompt is given to write code for a simple calculator front end in HTML, as soon as it is entered, the system processes it. The result can then be viewed directly. After the system instructions are executed, a complete code is generated. In this code, additional details and discussions can also be included. Here, it becomes clear that the wrong option was used earlier. The request was for a front-end calculator, and the output provided the complete structure of index.html. After that, the basic styling was added, and the styling itself is quite detailed. The response time is also handled in a much more efficient manner. For example, if the prompt is cleared and a new one is written to create a single file of index.html with inline CSS and JavaScript functionality for a fully functional calculator with maximum aesthetics and a Marvel-inspired UI, the result is generated immediately. The response time of this tool proves to be highly effective, as it delivers at a much higher speed. Within seconds, the required code is ready. This code can be copied directly if needed. The specific code section can also be copied from here. After copying the code, let's say it is pasted into an online compiler. One compiler option is available here, which works quite effectively. The language setting will be adjusted to HTML. After setting it to HTML, as soon as the code is placed and executed, a fully functional calculator appears. In this calculator, for example, entering 9 plus 9 immediately produces the result. Similarly, performing 9 divided by 2 generates the correct output. All the required variations are automatically handled and made available. This demonstrates the flexibility that can be achieved. The code can be written and tested directly. To illustrate further, the same prompt can be included in a new chat. By placing it there, it becomes possible to see whether an even better result is generated. The initial version provides a good structure, but it is not completely functional. For instance, when the equal button is clicked, it does not perform as expected. In such a case, AI Studio delivers enhanced options. This is because in the background it uses a reasoning model. This model begins by iterating on its own and developing an understanding of the task. And after understanding, it provides complete responses. At this stage, it becomes clear. After completing the design, in the end, coding will be initiated. Within that coding, it becomes evident that all the features have been explained. This is one step further because it has not only defined the elements, but also provided a better option. In this section, an internet connection is required for the Google font. The font is already loaded. What happens next is that the code is generated automatically. It clearly demonstrates how it is fully writing the code. Whatever time it takes will also be displayed. It mentions that it took about 1 minute to complete the code. The code is available here. If we go to the very start, this is the code, which can be copied directly. After copying, the next step is to paste this code. Once pasted, it can be executed. After execution, the available features will be visible. There is a noticeable improvement in quality. For example, if there are 2 multipliers, then the functionality is also operating correctly. For instance, 98 minus 65. So here, the result will appear. For example, if 23 is divided by 23, the response will be 1. Suppose the request is to multiply 120 by 56, then the response is provided instantly. This demonstrates that on a larger scale, it is fully functional, complete with all transitions. A calculator is available, and if any iteration is required, that can also be done. For instance, if the front end needs to be adjusted for children, such as kindergarten students or those aged 3 to 5 years, once included, the system begins to process. Initially, it analyzes, and after processing, results are generated automatically. Within seconds, it starts responding. At first, it evaluates and then simplifies. After simplification, the user interface design is generated automatically. This design, displayed in a technical form, is made slightly better. All the required changes are integrated, and following that, coding is initiated. Here, the complete code is generated. It can be copied, and as soon as it is pasted and executed, the results appear. At this point, there's a simple keyword issue along with an alignment problem, which will be solved automatically. However, in fact, aside from the alignment, every functionality runs smoothly when executed. Still, some alignment issues remain. For example, when the code is run, the output may appear slightly misaligned, requiring correction. Since multimodal capabilities are available, the system automatically interprets the image. First, it analyzes the image design, recognizing the single column structure with a light blue and black background. The focus is on creating a visually consistent white container to hold the calculator elements. Next, the image is reviewed, and in cases where it appears slightly misaligned, improvements are made by rewriting the code. A possible solution is provided, ensuring that the layout becomes optimal. In this way, the code is written automatically. The code is copied from here. After copying, it is pasted into the compiler and executed. At this point, the expectation is that everything functions correctly. The application is now available. Whenever any key is used, the result appears. For example, entering 10 plus 10 immediately generates a response. Subtraction and other options are also available. In this complete section, AISTUDIO coding formats are provided. In the next section, the build feature will be explained, demonstrating how a complete website or application can be created by using the build option.